Now, I don't put up hurricane shutters for a category 1. I might not even put them up for a category 2. But for a category 3, 4, or 5, I'm going to want something to protect my windows, because when your windows blow out, your roof can come off. Now, one of the latest things for protecting your windows is a hurricane fabric like AstroGuard. It's a fabric that covers your windows, and you have clips that hold the fabric to anchors that you put in the wall of your house. Now, these clips got to go about every 12 inches, okay? You start from about 2 inches on the top. Now, I priced AstroGuard from Home Depot. And for the window I showed you, the fabric's going to cost you about $80. And then you're going to have to buy anchors, and you're going to have to buy clips. And for about one window, it's going to cost you $220 to protect one window. No labor now. You got to do the labor yourself. You want to pay somebody, well, it's even more expensive. For me, I got to find something cheaper. The best thing for your money is using plywood shutters and Plylox. These are the clips you use, but you got to have enough recess in the window for these to work. Plylox, I think you get 20 clips, which will do about 5 windows, and they're like $30. We had our windows replaced, and the recess of the window is not deep enough for the Plylox clips. Those who have windows that don't have enough recess back, there's nothing for your clip to grab onto. It's got to grab on that brick, and this doesn't have enough space there, so that don't work. Also, if you got a wood frame house, the teeth on this thing, if I can find the teeth here, they're going to chew your wood up. So this may not be the best option for wood frame houses or for those with short recesses. But we got another option. About 7 years ago, I ran across a web page on what is that? S2K Tropical Weather, and it starts talking about a new product instead of Plylox, and it's called Hurricane Panel Locks. So I ordered one from this website, hurricanepanellock.com. This right here is a hurricane panel lock. It takes 2 of them to secure a window. I bought 2 of these back in 2013. Now, they're patented. Lawrence Pecoraro is the one who came up with this design, and he only made these things for about 8 years. There's the patent right there. Over here's the patent number. And this right here is more or less showing you what it's supposed to look like in your window. Alright, Hurricane Panel Lock was set up in 2005. But the company was dissolved in December of 2014. The reason being was that Lawrence Pecoraro started this company in his middle of his 70s, and he died at 89 in 2018. And with that, the company, I guess it dissolved 4 years prior to that. He was probably unable to continue on. Now, this is a window that is secured with hurricane panel locks, but they have been slightly modified because Pecoraro's design was too large for my windows. Pecoraro's design used 1-inch conduit. I took apart what his design was, and I manufactured my own using 3/4-inch conduit, which fit my windows perfectly. To secure the window, all you do is simply tighten this nut with a wrench. And it tightens it up up against the sides of the window recess. This is the blueprint from Pecoraro's design. Here you're going to use a conduit connector, and you're going to use a 1-inch piece of conduit, which you have a washer on the inside, and this is crimped to keep that washer from popping out. Spring, washer, nut, which is about 4.5 inches long. You then have another washer on the inside, a washer on the outside, and a nut, which is what tightening that spring. And over here you'll have another nut on the end, washer, a crimped small piece of conduit with an interior washer, and a nut that holds it all together snug. You can see here the end with nut, lock washer, washer, conduit. Inside is nut and lock washer and washer. And the outside is washer and a nut. And looking inside, you can see the washer that's being held in by the crimp conduit, and you can see the spring, and there's a nut you can see maybe way down in the pipe. Right here is an expanded diagram of what goes where. This is the diagram to my model, which is 3/4 inch conduit, and what I used. In your window recess, you're going to use like a concrete screw for that conduit to hold itself on so it won't pop out. You got 3 here. Also got to cut you a piece of conduit that's going to go into that conduit connector, and that's going to reach from concrete screw to concrete screw. Get you a 10-foot piece of conduit. Cut it in half at about 5 foot, right in the middle. Alright, that's going to leave you a crimp in the middle that's going to hold a washer. Now you're going to work off of the smooth end. A pack of 0.72 OD springs. They're going to run you about $6 on Amazon for 10. That's what you want to order. After you've cut your pipe in half, measure 4.5 inches from that middle crimp, and you're going to make a mark, and that's where you're going to work your next cut from after you've inserted your springs and bolts and washers. You're going to need about a 5 foot, 4 foot piece of dowel to work your springs and bolts and washer back with. Okay, what you're going to do now is you're going to put your washer in. Next goes the spring. Next goes the head of the bolt. Followed by another spring. Washer, I meant, and then a spring. It's our washer. And then there's our spring. And we push that in. Now we're ready to use the dowel to shove that all the way down. Now you were using 3/8 inch washers inside. Now you're going to use 7/16. So you're going to put that right there. You're going to follow with a nut. Then add a nut, a star lock washer, a 7/16 washer to the 1-inch piece of cut conduit. Inside is a washer up against the crimped end, lock washer, and nut. Tighten these 2 nuts up snug. If you have a hard time finding a 4.5 inch bolt, you can use a 5. It'll still work. If I haven't confused you too much, you can build this. You only need 2 of them to do a window. Some of them might take 3 on the larger windows. It only costs you about $10 to build 2 of them. This shows you which way to turn to tighten, which way to turn to loosen, which will lengthen or shorten the bolt. This is a spring I bought off of Amazon. Looks like it's a pack of 10 for $6.84. This is the patent number for the design of Pecoraro, which I did very similar to his. Just a slight modification. You can get online and print out the expanded diagram on what it's made out of. Hurricane panel locks. You can build them yourself and give it a shot. Thank you.